everyone, welcome back to the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Happy Friday! Today is our last challenge number 9. I was gonna start everything back from scratch. Sorry, it's Friday and we are gonna tackle a very fun topic today. But first of all, let me say hi to all of you one by one, hopefully. I wanna say hi to Susan, Jennifer, Ralph, thank you so much for tuning in to all of the other stream. Sean, of course, hi Sam, and thank you so much for helping us here in the chat. Jovas, Dixie, Tim, nice to see you. Steven, Andreas, hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're gonna have a very nice weekend. It's Friday. Let me know if you have any plan for this weekend. I'm gonna go back and catch up and refine all my daily creative challenge. No, I'm actually gonna rest. But yes, it's nice to see you here. You can use the weekend to catch up with your previous challenges. As I say, today is our last day together. But fear not, you have more challenges coming your way from Monday. And let me show you how you can join this challenge and next challenges very easily thanks to our amazing landing page that is filled with information for you. So let's start cracking on by going on our behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. As you can see here in this amazing landing page, you have so many information regarding the challenges. First of all, if you've not done so yet, you can still take the challenge here by clicking on this big blue button. Mine says chat with the community because I already done so. Today, as you can see, is our last day. These challenges finished today, March 13th, but we have so many more challenges coming your way starting on Monday. And you can follow up, and if you want to know when they're starting, who's there, how to join the next challenges, all you have to do is scroll down on this amazing page and click on subscribe. Also, as you can see here, we made it. We unlocked all the different challenges. And if you have not taken any of these challenges yet, don't worry, you can go back and click in each one of these videos and you will be able to watch this stream again and get the starter file. And if one challenge is not enough, you have many more challenges coming your way here with exploring the past challenges area. We have challenges from Kathleen, from Voodoo from Jesus Ramirez, and many other amazing streamers that have been here before me. And you can access all their video, all the starter files, everything is there for you. But let's see something more important here. If you have not downloaded the app yet, in order to follow through with our challenges, we need to download Photoshop. Because during these challenges, we're gonna learn how to use it. We're gonna learn the basic. As I say, this is a safe space for beginner and a fun space for professionals. In fact, we're gonna sharpen our skills and learn new techniques in Photoshop. And for those of you who never tried it before, go ahead and download the trials. You have a trial that is free and you can go ahead and play a little bit with Photoshop and see if this is the right app for you. With our challenges is a great way to get started and discover tools by tools. And also, if you are a professional, this is the perfect time in which you can take inspiration from one of the challenges and really start building your personal portfolio pieces. Here, you can download our starter file. Today's our last challenge. And you can click on Get Started in order to get your file and to join me. I'm gonna start in a second, but before jumping into Photoshop, I would like to show you something amazing, which is a second part of our challenges, because the first part is here with me every day, but the second part is our amazing community chat. So once you take the challenge, you can click on the chat with the community or click on the community chat link here, and you will be transported in this amazing place, which is the Discord channel. Discord is a great place, a great community where you can chat with creatives from all over the world, pretty much 24-hour days, no matter where are you from, where you're tuning in. That's what you can do in order to get feedback, look at other people's work, ask questions, show your portfolio. As you can see, we have many channels here. The one where I will invite you to share your work in order to get a feedback is the current challenge. We had Jason yesterday reviewing your work, which was very exciting, and I want to give him a shout. Thank you so much for reviewing our lovely daily creative challenges in Photoshop. And as you can see, I have so many amazing work coming through. See, as I said, this is a great place to get feedback, but also to get inspired. I always look forward to see your work. As usual, I will also share my work, and I'm there. If you have any questions, just give me a shout. I will be more than happy to help you out. So hopefully by now, Marissa, that's your work. I absolutely love it. It's very, very nice. I love that you took your ethereal paradise. In your ethereal paradise, you have giraffes and you have cacti. Very, very amazing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you might want to check our first challenges where we introduced the mood of these 2 weeks. We created day by day a full marketing campaign for a location that doesn't exist, but is perhaps the location of your dream. So let's get started into Photoshop. If you have not done so, make sure that you download here your starter file under video timeline. So click on Get Started in order to download the file and join me in Photoshop. So today, as the title of this unveiled card said, we're gonna play with animation in Photoshop. I'm gonna jump in the chat real quick to see if there is any question. I see that everyone is still saying hello. Hi Clarissa, William, Jennifer. Well, let's get started in Photoshop and let's have a play with this video timeline. Let me know in the chat if you have used the timeline before or not. It would be nice to know if any of you has an experience yet. So as you can see, this is taken from yesterday's challenge. I've created some shapes in order to create our mailer, and then I transferred into this amazing Instagram story. Now, you already have the file set up, so the size of the file are absolutely spot on. If you need to know more in terms of size of your social media, you can go on my website, iamclari.com, and under resources, you'll find so many downloadable free resources for you, and one of them is our social media size cheat sheet. So if you ever wonder which size to use, you'll be able to find all this information in there. But as I said, this is already set in your starter file. So let's go ahead and get started. In order to play with the video timeline, we need to click into Window, open our timeline panel, just like so. I like to work with mine set on the side, especially in this case because I have a very narrow canvas in terms of width. So that allows me to play a little bit more with my panels, and we're gonna set that up in a second. But first of all, I want you to have a look at our layer. They all have this little square here with all the little handles on the side. And this is because yesterday we played with graphics and with shapes. And that means that we created a lot of vectors. So first thing that I want to do before jumping into the timeline is to transform all my vectors into pixels. And I do so by clicking here on this layer filter, just up there, which has the same image. And once we do so, we are literally selecting and filtering within our layers all our vector file. Then by using our amazing shortcut Option Command A, we can select all layers. And by clicking on the side on one layer, we want to make sure that we rasterize them. Here it is. That's what we have to click. By clicking on rasterize layers, all the layers disappear because there is no more vectors. In fact, if we release the filter and go back into our layers, they're all gonna be rasterized. But it's time now to jump into the video timeline. And as you can see, we have a reflection of our layers here on our video timeline. What I'm gonna do is to make the time a little bit stretched out by using this little slider here at the bottom of the timeline. And I'm gonna start by creating the very, very first motion. So the first thing that I wanna do is to move our moon to make it rise from behind the pyramids. And the first thing that we want to do is to click on this down pointing arrow, and we're going to have the first three and most important status of an object for our timeline. The first one is the position, which is where something is within our mood board. Let's select our moon in order to move it. So where something is in the mood board. Then we have opacity, which is the transparency of the layer. And then the style, which is a layer style applied to our layer. Let's get started with the position. So before I move the moon, the first thing that I want to do is click on our stopwatch in order to create our first keyframe. The keyframe are these lovely gold little diamond here. and they are gonna record the status, either position, opacity, or style of our object within that time. The time is set by this playhead. In fact, in order to record a change in position, we're gonna first of all move the playhead. But let's get started with the moon. So make sure that your layer is selected. You clicked on your stopwatch in order to create your first record your first position. And our first position of the moon is right here. Very, very low. Now, as you can see, as much as surreal these spaces, we really want the moon to be behind the pyramid. So all we have to do is to jump into our layer and make sure that the pyramid layer sits above the moon. As you can see, the moon goes behind. And this is going to be our position number 1, starting position for the moon. Then I'm going to move up to 1 second here. And you know that is 1 second because it's broken down on the top. We have different markers for our time. So I'm going to move it to 1 second. And then making sure that our moon is selected. So as you can see, we're on the pyramid layer. We need to click back into the moon, and you can see that also into our timeline, we have our moon layer that is outlining white. We're gonna move the moon up into the sky. And as you can see, Photoshop has already created a marker for us because we moved our playhead in time in order to record a different mark and a different time. So as you can see, we have already created our first step of animation. We moved the moon to rise up in the sky. Now, because the moon is rising, of course, it's night. So the sky is to change. It cannot be the same sky with or without moon. So let's go ahead and change our background color. In order to do so, we're going to click on our background layer and click on the down pointing arrow. And we are going to use, you guessed it, the style. Style is going to record the change of style. And in order to do so, we're going to first of all create our starting positioning. So the first keyframe to mark the status of the sky is going to be at the very beginning when the moon is still not up in the sky. We're going to click and create our first keyframe, our beautiful diamond that sets our style to pink sky. Then we're going to move in time with our playhead and click it here when the moon rises up. And we're going to go into our layer style and click on color overlay in order to create a color that overlays. Here I have a blue, as you can see from my layer. We have a darker blue color, which I'm quite happy with. Maybe I'll go a little bit darker as well. Set to multiply, and with an opacity of 74 because if we got into solid, it becomes a little bit too blocky. I really want our gradient to come through, so I'm just gonna press OK. And as you can see, Photoshop has created another little keyframe here to mark our status. And as you can see, the animation is working. When the moon rises, the sky gets darker. I hope you're all very excited about this. And let's see if there is any other question. I'm gonna stop my loop, otherwise you're gonna have the moon rising over and over again. Jennifer, you really enjoy information for the hop backpack. Yes. So if you tuned in last week, I was live with the amazing Christine Hart, and we're working on some branding for backpacks called Hop, which is one of my clients. And we already started to play with the video timeline. Actually, in there, we weren't creating a GIF. We were creating an actually little movie. In fact, we added music. So go back in behance.net/live. I think it's graphic design. You'll be able to find that animation to demo as well. So in this case, we do not have any sound, and we won't be able to add a sound because we're creating a GIF. And GIF are quite simple way to carry animation, and therefore they do not carry any style. Now, before I see the time is moving so fast, I want to show you so many amazing things. So now we're gonna get to play with the other different layers. We have, for example, here our shooting stars, which I call falling stars in my folders. And I want to show you something. If we go into the actual layer, the only change that is allowed within a group of layers is the opacity. In order to record the change of status for position and style, we will have to act on each single star. So let's play with the position of the stars. Now, usually what I do is to go here into my layer, and because everything is on a blue color, so it gets a little bit confusing, I'm gonna hit Control and click or right click on the side of my layer and make our our layer color yellow. It just helped me to differentiate which layer I'm working with. I see Sonam is joining us. Very nice to have you here. Carl is here. Carl, you made a really cool t-shirt today. Well, I look forward to see it. You can always post it into Discord. There is a channel called Design Other. If you want to give me a shout, I'll be more than happy to see it there. Steven, you say that the moon actually rises at a different time of the day. Yes, well, we are in an ethereal paradise. I don't really know what time is it. Maybe the moon is rising at 9 in the morning. We are people who enjoy the moon in my ethereal paradise place. But let's see how we can get this star to shoot down into the sky. So as I said, I will go here into my layer, first of all, to understand which star is the first one. So we see the falling star number 1 is this central here. And in order to make a move, we're gonna click on the down pointing arrow, and we're gonna move a little bit further in space here. So once the moon is up in the sky, we're gonna have the first star shooting by. So I'm gonna record my first position by clicking on our our timer here, our stopwatch, and I'm gonna move into time in order to actually let's first determine the first position, because right now we have the star in the middle of the canvas. We wanted to actually come in from outside. So make sure that you stay where you created your first starting position. Go back, making sure that your correct layer is selected, and bring it out of the canvas. So this is gonna be our first position. The star is outside. Then I'm gonna move in time here, and I'm gonna create another positioning simply by moving the star. So I move my playhead in time, and now I'm gonna have the star moving down here into a different position. Now it doesn't really matter where you move the star. Something that happened, the star disappeared because I actually went into my panel. So I might want to be able to make sure that I've done it correctly just by doing so. So I just move the star again. And as you can see, Photoshop has already recorded my change of status in positioning. But let's see if that worked. That worked absolutely fine. So we have our star moving and shooting through the sky. And I'm gonna do so with our second star. Let's see which one is the second star. Is the smaller one in the back. All we have to do is to click on positioning first and move the playhead to wherever you want it to start, and click our starting position, move it out of the canvas, and then move it a little bit further in time and drag it again out of the canvas. So we have our second shooting star moving through the sky. And as you can see here, if we press the space bar, we have our first star and then our second star. Now what happens if you want perhaps the stars to move at the same time? Is that possible? Of course it is. All we have to do is to go back into our timeline panel, click and drag to select the little keyframe here. You can select as many as you want. In fact, if you wish, you could select different keyframe by simply holding shift, and you can move them together. But in this case, all I need are these two over here. So I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to drag them a little bit back. So as you can see here from my panel, all I want is to have the second star and the first star to overlap in time. So in this case, as you can see, we're going to have the first star shooting, and while it's still moving, we're going to have our second star following. Now, if you think that they are moving a little bit too fast, the way that the timeline works is, in order to slow down, you will have to stretch the point. So the starting point and the end point of a movement, if they are far apart, we're going to have a slower movement. While if they are closer together, they're going to start and finish real quick. So let's see how that works. I'm going to click here on this second status. I'm going to click out of it because we had both selected. So I'm going to click and make sure that only one of them is selected, and I'm going to move it way longer. So we're going to have the first star going fast and then the one that is far away going slower. But let's see how that works. So I'm going to bring my playhead at the very, very beginning in order to enjoy our animation. I'm going to press the space bar. See, we created different change and different status. Now, I think we have time real quick to show you how you can work with the little sprinkling star, the shiny stars. I'm gonna do one real quick over here. I'm going to open my panel in order to have a better visibility. And as you can see here, we can start a point on time while our shooting star is finished to shoot and is still perhaps moving. We're going to work on our first little star. I'm going to click on style to record the first style, which is going to be an effect. We're going to add an outer glow. And in this case, I'm going to keep it to the size to 0 because we wanted to keep it normal. And then it's going to blink. So first of all, I'm going to move my playhead. And then I'm going to go back simply into my layer style, making sure that the same layer is selected. And I'm going to move the size up so it actually becomes brighter. And as you can see here, we have our star getting brighter. Now, if you want to repeat this animation over and over again, instead of clicking and changing the style, all I suggest to do is to go ahead into your timeline panel, into the correct layer. We need to position ahead our playhead into the correct time in place where you want to paste this motion. And you want to click on one of the two action, click Control and copy. As you can see, they are both yellow. So I'm selecting both of these movement here. And then again, click Control and paste. You need to click both Control in order to copy and paste while you are selecting both of the keyframe here. And as you can see, we're gonna have our star blinking. Now let's go ahead and press the space bar to see our beautiful full animation. And our stars is blinking. And you can go ahead and do that with all the different stars. Now we have very few minutes. I want to show you how you're going to save this amazing GIF in order to share it on Discord. And we're going to go into File, Export, and Save for Web Legacy. Now this might take a little second because I've created different animation and different style. Just in case it will take a little bit longer, I've already saved a version for you, but I would really like to show you the window. So if we have a little bit of a patience here, a little bit of a moment, here it is. What I really want to show you is that the most important thing is that you select GIF here. So I'm going to zoom in here in our Save for Web Legacy. So remember, we go into File, Export, Save for Web Legacy. Make sure that you select the GIF in order to save the entire animation. You can also have a little bit of a preview here by pressing play and click on Save. Now this one takes a little bit to usually render, so I have saved already a version just for the sake of time because we have literally 1 minute 30 seconds before saying hello. So I'm gonna go back into my desktop here where I have already recorded a GIF. As you can see, I have a final GIF here, and I want to show you that it's absolutely possible to share it into Discord. If we go back into Discord, I'm gonna click on the plus button here, make sure that I select my GIF file and click on open. And this is my final challenge here. So if you go into Discord, you'll be able to find my GIF. And hopefully you guys enjoyed these 2 weeks together. It was absolutely a huge pleasure to be with you. Don't forget to upload your work also on Behance. You can always go back and watch all the video. You can follow me into Behance. You can find me on my website, iamclady.com. Also on Instagram is iamclady. And it was an absolutely pleasure to be with you. I hope you guys had fun. I had a ton of fun being here with you. We learned a lot. I look forward to see your animated GIF. If you have any question, feel free to give me a shout on Discord. I'll be there for the rest of the day, and I'm gonna hang out in Discord in the weekend. So if you need to catch up with your different challenges, feel free to do so. I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone, and remember, next week there is more challenges. There's gonna be Jesus Ramirez with a new Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, and stay tuned because here, right after me, you have an amazing Photoshop Masterclass with Paul Trani. So I wish you everyone a happy weekend. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you soon. Bye guys.